Hey, Mark Colgan here, B2B sales consultant. And in this video, I'm going to walk through how I'm using new tools to build lead magnets for myself and for some of my clients. And I think what's incredible about the technology today is what would have taken 2 weeks, maybe even a month working with an external agency to build out some software or some very lightweight tools can now be done in a couple of hours. And I want to share a couple of examples first of some tools that I've built. And then I'm going to build a tool completely from scratch with you as I record it. It might take a little bit of a while for all of the tool to be built. So I may go back and just edit some of it where it seems to be just taking a little bit of time. The technology I'm using is Bolt.new. It's an AI app builder. You essentially just give it an idea and it goes off and creates the tool for you. So why lead magnets, first of all? Well, when reaching out to any prospect across different channels, it's always better when you have something of value to share with them, because you can use that as the excuse to start a conversation with them. So it could be an ROI calculator, it could be a tool that generates some text or helps them do some of the role that they're trying to overcome. And when I think about lead magnets, what I'm really trying to think is, how do I solve the first 10% of the problem that my prospects have, where I then can come in and solve 90%, the remaining 90% as well. So how can I get them close to their goals but leave them needing a little bit more? So I'm going to show just two examples of tools that I've built. The first is a fun one. It's called Unhinged Follow-Up Generator. So what you do here is you say, oftentimes you'll have a great call with a prospect, you'll send them the proposal, even if you've booked a meeting, they then ghost you. So here I wanted to create some unhinged sales emails that you can send, or follow-up emails that you can send. So what you have to do is pick your emotion. So are you frustrated, confused, anxious, disappointed, determined, or aggressive? So let's say anxiety. And it automatically will generate now a follow-up email, which I definitely do not recommend that you send. So, dear prospect name, did I say something wrong? Are you okay? Are you real? Please just send me a sign, even a smoke signal at this point. So again, super cheesy. I'm not saying that you should send these emails, but I just want to show you just how this tool works. This now, every time an emotion is clicked, like this button here, the aggressive one, you can see that the screen shaked a little bit there. It's basically sending that emotion to OpenAI, and then it's generating a different message every time. The aggressive one, I really asked it to up the ante. There might be a few swear words in here, but dear Ghostface Killer, seriously, what the hell? Did your email break, or are you just ignoring me? Get your act together and reply, or consider this the most aggressive farewell ever. Again, this is just for fun. This is not emails that I recommend that you send, but I built this all without knowing a line of code. The only code that I really know is like my PIN code for my phone and my I guess my sort code to my bank. So what you can do here now is copy email, and then this is a little bit of functionality that I added in here. I wanted people to be a little bit worried that they thought they just sent that email, even though they never gave an email in the first place. And then this little modal comes up, which says, are you absolutely sure this is a one-way ticket to chaos? If you're having second thoughts, maybe, just maybe, you should check out some actually effective follow-up emails first. So this is where it actually then links to some of my content. And this is why I've built this as a lead magnet, is to have a little bit of fun, but then also to direct people to effective follow-up emails, where of course I have information about me and how I can help companies as well. I've added in a bit of a Rickroll to continue that journey of a little bit of surprise. And then little other things I've added in here is like, if I try and exit this modal, watch what happens to the X. So it moves out the way. Again, just playful. This is fun, very light-hearted. You can actually close the modal here, and you can click on any other emotion and it will generate this copy for you. Now, if this was more of a fun kind of lead magnet or just tool to start a conversation, I've actually got a more serious one, which is problem messaging. Now, this is solving the challenge that a lot of salespeople that I speak to, they really can't articulate the challenges that their personas face, and therefore I wanted to help them get to the 20 or 30% of the way there so they could finish it off. In fact, this probably gets people about 80% of the way there. So what happens is they put in their company type that they're reaching out to, the persona that they're reaching out to, and then they give their website's URL. And what it will do is automatically generate some problem statements and questions and a way to position the solution. If I just show you some previous messages, view details here. So this is for a company called Autonomy, and they are an outsourcing company. The persona was the head of customer support, and it was B2B tech hardware companies with more than 5,000 employees. So really, really specific ICP, persona, and obviously the website. So in the back end, it's gone through the website. It's looked to see what Autonomy does. It's then also thought about who is the person that it's reaching out to. And then it's also thought about what type of company do they work at. So what are 5 problems that these head of customer support might have? So the first problem is overwhelmed by complex customer queries. And then the question is very emotive. Again, I'm not saying that you copy and paste this messaging, but it helps you think about how do you open a cold call? How do you write a message in an email or LinkedIn? So are you sick of your team drowning in a sea of complex customer queries that seem endless, with each one eating up valuable time and leaving your team feeling burnt out and behind? So again, we're talking about the main problem. We're asking questions about the problem. And then the solution is, Autonomy is a fully managed customer support service that scales with your needs. It streamlines the handling of complex queries by leveraging expert agents and cutting-edge technology, which means that your team can breathe easy, focusing on strategic initiatives rather than firefighting, and your customers enjoy faster, more accurate support, enhancing satisfaction and loyalty. This is all completely made up by AI, but it's using the context of the persona, the company, and the website URL. So another problem, struggling with inefficient support processes. Another problem, high support costs eating into budgets. Another problem, inconsistent customer experience. And then difficulty scaling support operations. Is it frustrating to try and scale your support operations quickly to match business growth, only to find it a logistical nightmare that holds back your company's potential? Again, what are the problems that my persona is facing in this type of company? So again, this is just this is the second example of a tool that I've built with a product called Bolt.new, and this is the one that I prefer to use. It's the one that has worked better for me as I've tested out a few of these things. So what do we do? How do we actually start building a tool with these tools? Well, you can just put in a brief description of what it is that you want. But what I found is if I go to ChatGPT and ask for it to produce a product requirements document, which is a term that product managers use when it comes to building out products and features, that I get a much better result. So my example is my company is Yellow O. I work as a sales consultant helping agencies and software companies with their sales, either generating more pipeline or closing more deals. I've got a lot of resources and content about generating more pipeline, but I don't have that much about closing deals. So what I want to do is put together a calculator which will help me show that if I can help increase the close rate across each AE by 5% or 10%, what that could mean to their revenue, like how much more revenue could they increase by. So I've just prepared a little bit of a prompt earlier on, and I'm going to paste it into ChatGPT now. So I want to create an interactive calculator tool to host on my website. Using Bolt.new, produce a product requirements document, that's a PRD, that outlines the build and functionality of creating a calculator to show how changes in close rates impact revenue. The user will input the following information. So I need the user to fill out, give me some data, or that data is just kind of the data. Average close rate, number of AEs, monthly meetings per AE, average deal size. And then on a sliding scale, show the increase in conversion rates and what impact this has or that has on their revenue. So I'm just going to run that into ChatGPT using 4.0, sorry. And it's now going to produce one in the canvas here. So let me just open that. So it's given the project title, an overview. It's an interactive tool designed to demonstrate how changes in close rates impact revenue. Hosted on the website, this tool enables sales leaders, agency owners, and revenue teams to visualize the potential revenue gains from optimizing conversion rates. So the objective is a user-friendly interactive calculator that has real-time calculations, displays results dynamically on a sliding scale, and offers clear insights to encourage the sales process optimization. and potential consulting engagements. So it's picking up that I actually want to use this as lead magnet. Now, I actually worked years ago with an agency to produce a calculator, and I think it cost us about £7,000 or £8,000. And it took about 3 weeks to get right. And we had so much back and forth with the development team and the design team. And then we were a nightmare for the agency because we went through the design spec. Then when we actually got to use the calculator, we were like, we don't really like the way it's designed, so we need to change that. So then the agency had to take our new iterations of the design, and then they had to recode some of the tool as well. Now what I'm going to hopefully show you in like the next 15 minutes is how you can get a pretty decent working version of this tool. So I think this is ready now. It's given the formula, and it's given some examples, a revenue calculation, and then user interface. So simple input fields, interactive sliding scale from 10 to 50 range. So I might want to change this, and this is the great thing, I can. So let me just go and copy this, development stage 2. So I don't need that, All right, I'm just going to copy the whole thing in. So we go into Bolt. You would obviously need to sign up. I'm paying $50 a month at the moment because I've built a few different tools, and I'm just going to paste that in and hit send. Now it's 10:07. I'll probably stop talking and I'll come back once the first version is done, but I promise I'll only cut back in when the first version is done and I haven't made any changes or tweaks to the copy or the prompt as well. So I'll pause now. Okay, it's now 10:08, so that took about 50 seconds for it to work. And now you can see I've got a close rate impact calculator, and it's discover how improving your close rate can dramatically impact your revenue. I haven't played around with this. You can see on the left-hand side, it's kind of told me what it's done. So it's got the following features: clean and modern UI, interactive elements, visual hierarchy, professional features, user experience, and it's now ready to use. So number of account executives, let's say it's 3. Monthly meetings per AE, let's just say that's down to 15. Current close rate is 20%. That's kind of like an industry standard. You're doing okay. You're doing a lot of things right to get to 20, but there's a hell of a lot more room to grow by. And the average deal size, let's say that's 10,000. So revenue impact, adjust the close rate, 20, 25%. So if you increase by 5%, the baseline monthly revenue is this, the projected monthly revenue would be that. So it's a monthly revenue increase by 22K. So if I'm charging 10K for a part of the service and I can almost guarantee that they'll increase by 5%, then I can demonstrate the ROI of my services. Now let's say we increase to 40%, so that's a 20% increase. Then this is the monthly revenue increase they'll get if they close 20% more of their deals with these numbers. Now, this is pretty good. I could just leave it here, but I want to change a few things. For me personally, on the slider, I want to say that it has to show the percentage change. So let me prompt that. And again, I'm not going to articulate this in a super clear way, but the AI is amazing at handling what I try to mean. So change the slider so it is just increase in close rate from 1% to 100. No, it has to be more than 100%. But anyway, let's do 100% and see how it handles it. So again, it's going back in the background. It's telling me what it's up to. It then kind of shows the code. Like I said, I don't know how to code, but I am learning a little bit about how this sort of stuff works. Not well enough to like go and apply for a job as a developer. But the thing is, I don't need to. I can see what's happening here. And oftentimes it will run into errors and things will break, but it does a really good job of trying to fix that problem as well. So now we can see, as I've been talking, it's updated that now. So close rate increase is, okay, let's just, I might have to do this again. 14, 20, 25, average deal size, let's just say 10 again, keep the numbers simple. So close rate increase. Look at this. So now I can, if I can help a company increase the close rate by 15% across their 14 account executives, then that will be an additional $420 monthly increase revenue. Okay, now what I want to do is show yearly impact as well. And also we can see what that increase means in terms of the revenue number is increasing by 80%. So if we close rate increase by, okay, yeah, so it's not going to let me do 100% because the max I can increase the close rate. So this would mean that the close rate would increase to 100%. So this is not what I had in mind, but actually probably better than I thought I could, that I thought I was building. So for all intents and purposes, this is done. I might want to brand it a little bit more. And you might be asking, how do I deploy this? How do I share this with people? Now I can click preview and it will load up some preview here so I can just see what it looks like without having the code on the left-hand side. And as you can see, it's a workable calculator. It does it in real time. 50,000. Close rate increase. So this is obviously hosted locally. I'm not going to go into the full detail of deploying this, but what you'll see is that they have an integration with a tool like Netlify. Netlify, I think, is a hosting company. I don't even know what it is. But it's going to host on a like a public domain called Beamish. This is a random domain. So I could share this right now with prospects and they could use it. However, I can also create a custom domain like I did here. So I purchased this domain for $11. And then within a few minutes, using the integration with Netlify, which is this company here, Netlify, I was able to have it hosted on my own domain. Or a domain that I purchased. The problemmessaging.com, I also bought that for $11. There's a lot of domains out there which you have quite niche words for, but because I'm going to be sending this in emails and messaging, it doesn't really matter. I don't think it matters what the domain is, of course, as long as it's not something offensive or looks really suspicious. So within, I think I said 10:07, so less than just over 5 minutes, I've got a tool that previously took me, like I said, 3 weeks and about £7,000 and a lot of frustration to build with a client. But how can we improve this now? Well, I'm not a developer. I don't know what's possible. So I can ask, what can we do to make this more valuable? And it's going to come up with some ideas. Oh, okay, this is something I've learned. Sometimes you need to say, don't do anything, just give me the suggestions. Again, don't make any changes. I want to hear the suggestions first of all. But what it's going to do automatically now is put in annual projections alongside monthly numbers, visual indicators for good warning zones in the close rate. Not sure what that's going to look like. Additional metrics like meetings needed to hit revenue targets, a breakdown of revenue per account executive, visual progress indicators. Again, not sure what this is going to look like. That was 10:13, just looking at the time. So it's going to work on this, and it's done. So it should automatically update here. So projected status average, status average. Let's see what it says if I do 30. Good. 60. Excellent. 10 needs improvement. Okay, I'm going to take that down to 10. I don't like. Ooh. Not sure why that 0 is there. I could fix that another time. Account executives, let's bring it down to 6. 15. So now we have a 0% increase. Okay, so revenue increase per month, and it's going to show me percentage and then year. So let's just say I can increase the close rate from 10% to 20. So the new rate would be 20%. That would mean an additional £90,000 a month, or 1.8 a year. Key metrics: revenue per AE 30k per month, meetings for 2 times revenue 20 per AE. Meetings for 2x revenue. Okay, I'm gonna remove this key metrics section. So again, I don't like it. It's not something I want. So remove the key metrics section. And again, it's going to work in the background, and it's going to remove that, and then it's going to show me what it looks like once it's removed. Next thing I want to do is probably think about improving the branding. I also want to link to my website. Maybe it's my Calendly link. Maybe I can add that in here as well. For lead magnets, you could ask people to fill out an email to access the calculator. But to be honest, you can do this calculation yourself. You can do this in a spreadsheet. I don't think it's valuable enough, this particular lead magnet, by gating it with a form. Other marketers or other people may disagree. But I want to add some branding. So I'm going to come back down here. So key insights. So I said remove. It did, but then it added a 0% increase in close rate could generate an additional. Oh, okay, this is awesome. Each AE could generate an additional annually to improve close rates. So 10. A 10% increase. So it just kind of summarizes that. I like that. I didn't ask it to do it, but I like it. I want to make the slider a bit bigger. So make the slider a bit bigger and more contrast. Or with more contrast, but again, you don't even need to use perfect language here. So it's going to do that again, working in the background. Now, if I did deploy it, so if it is hosted on a page like this, and you make changes, you will need to deploy it again. So if you test it with your team, test it with maybe some early potential users, and they spot some bugs, you might have to come in, fix those, and then redeploy it. But you just have to press this deploy button, and that's it. Okay, that should be ready now. So it's telling me what it's done. So close rate increase 0%, new rate is 20%, projected status average. Okay, this is pretty good. Yep, that looks a lot better. Made the value display more prominent, added a hover. Where's the hover? Added hover and focus states for better interactivity. I can't really see that. Improve the overall spacing and visual hierarchy. Cool. Now I want to a section with my calendar link embedded. So I assume it's going to add it to the bottom, but it takes into account the overall design and the user experience, and it will put it in the right place. But let's see what happens. Okay, so now it's got a call to action here saying ready to improve your close rate, book a free consultation to discuss how we can help achieve a 20% close rate and generate an additional. Oh, that's really cool. So they go like this, and then it brings it in here, and then schedule a call would be my link. I might want to embed it. So I'll just say change the schedule a call CTA and allow me to embed my calendar form. I think I wasn't too clear with my previous request, but I love the way I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think about saying schedule a call and learn how you can increase your revenue by 1.3 million. And it did it automatically. So again, it's mind-blowing what this technology can do. We're still just over 10 minutes and this is ready. I could spend more time tweaking it. I might want to think about, well, how can I add some of the resources that I've got in terms of sales process optimization? I could have some additional information there, some suggestions. I could add a bit more playfulness to it. So if I look at the unhinged follow-ups, like the screen shakes here, we've got anxiety, I've got kind of micro copy down here. Again, this is a very different use case than the calculator. Oh, but I might want to put some social proof. So let me go back and do that. So here we go. Let's improve your close rate. Cool. So now it says Calendly refuses to connect because I haven't told it where my Calendly link is. So embedded Calendly iframe replace with your actual Calendly. Now a split layout, added benefit points with icons. Okay. So just replace the calendar URL in the iframe source attribute. So I think I know where to find this. This took me a little while. So if I go to code, I should be able to see something about source. So I can't find it, okay? So let's ask for help. Share the instructions for cow.com. I don't use Calendly. Again, I should have been a little bit more detailed with my prompt. Here, I'm not sure if it's in this kind of folder. Again, I am not a developer, so I'm probably calling these things wrong, but it just goes to show you don't need to be a developer. I actually liked it with this being full width, but I think when the calendar is going to be in here, it will look good. Let me just go to cow.com and get the embed. I'll just take the sales advice one, which is here, copy, preview. I think I can embed it, yep. Okay, so inline embed is the one I want. So I'm just gonna copy code. Hopefully this will work, or maybe React. I don't know, I have no idea what that means. Cool, so now it's telling me there's a problem. I've updated the code, cow.com embed React package. Created the placeholder. Okay, replace your cow username 30-minute with a code actual cow. Okay, cool. Now it's saying it's got some problems. So what's the problems? Terminal error, inline booking. Maybe that's because I haven't put that information in. To use this, replace your cow username. Again, I don't know where. So which location do I add? Where was it? Okay. I'm just going to copy the link. I don't even need the embed code. I just need to copy the link to the event. So username, your form. Okay. Replace. Okay. In the app tsx file, you need to replace. Okay. So code and then app tsx. And it's going to be here somewhere. Cow. I'm not sure if I can do. Okay. Cow.com. No, get Cal API. So here's where I think people get a bit, oh, it's there. People get a little bit frustrated because they get lost with these tiny little details. Okay, so I did that wrong. It's just your cow username. And then, so here is what I need to do. So little things like this that you just learn as you go. And then I'm going to click save, attempt to fix it. So it looks like it may have fixed it. Let's see. It's not fully working just yet, but removed, property configured. You can replace mark-on device with your cow.com booking link in the format username/event/slug. It should be working. I'm not really sure why, but I feel like I've demonstrated the value of these tools. Now, when it comes to thinking of your lead magnets, again, think about, oh, there it is, it worked. So I could change this around, but this will do. 11 o'clock, and then all the information. So I actually don't like the way that it's so long underneath and it's quite short up here, but I think it's brilliant that it pulls through these numbers and clearly demonstrates the ROI. So that is a simple way of building a calculator. To recap, it started with putting together the prompt. Again, this is all I gave it. So this is the simplest prompt. And the key thing here was a product requirements document. I then used Bolt.new, and we can see that I haven't had a lot of interactions with the AI. So that was the first one. Sec 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think 9 or 10 prompts, or 9 or 10 kind of back and forth to get a working ROI calculator. So let me know what you think. If you're struggling to think of lead magnet ideas, think about how do I solve, or an ROI calculator is one type of lead magnet. If you're thinking about how do I share valuable content or valuable things to prospects, think about solving the first 10% of the problem. Think about your onboarding process. Is there something in your onboarding process that you potentially give away? Is there a number of questions that you go through? Are there things that you do for clients in the beginning that helps not only you onboard them to your service or into your product? And for products, I think a really great example of a company that has done really well using these kind of micro tools is Veed.io. So I'm just going to leave this one. If I look at Veed, they grew via ranking for a lot of these AI tools. So all of these tools here essentially are sub features of their main product. But what they then did was they rank really high for some of these tools, and then if you want to try it out, you just have to sign up to a Veed account, and then you get into their whole kind of product suite as well. So is there a part of your SaaS product that you can give away slightly? If you have a product-led growth motion, there probably is. If you're more enterprise, then it's probably more likely it's going to be the either the calculators from an ROI point of view, especially if you've got multiple users. So this is specific for me because I sell to sales teams, but it could be to HR, could be to marketing. Or are there fun things that you can do if your brand allows you to have a little bit of lightheartedness? Or can you come up with a prompt? I think it's here. Can you come up with a prompt that helps solve some of that problem? Like this now is 80% of the way there, but people still might need my help. And that's why I've got some calls to actions here for people to book a call. I've got some social proof in here as well. What next? I didn't show you that too. So this is taking my prompt, which is, I guess, my IP, which I spent a lot of time getting it to work, to then put it into a tool. So there you go. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. Drop them in the comments. I don't usually say that on YouTube videos, but as you can tell, I really enjoy this stuff. So would love to brainstorm some ideas with you. All right, take care. Bye-bye.